Hello and welcome to the Video Age. My name is Sean and I am your host on this podcast about things we are nostalgic for and things we are excited to be nostalgic for in the future. And today is our second entry in the May musicals. This is The Phantom of the Paradise. It is directed by Brian De Palma, and it is from 1974. It is a story of Winslow. Yeah, it's a story of Winslow, and he makes a Faustian deal, and, well, will things go good for him in this Faustian deal? If you don't know about Faust, it's a great thing. Everything turns out fine. We are going to talk about this movie in depth, and we're also going to talk about Brian De Palma a little bit, because, he's the director. We're also going to talk about Paul Williams. He's the songwriter of this, helped write the story. But before that, we are going to talk about thevideoage.com. That will lead you to our Patreon. Hop on over there and you will get extra episodes. We have an episode that is some supplementary material for April's theme month, which was April Showers Bring Me Dreams for Hours. We have Akira Kurosawa's Dreams coming just for the Patreon. So go over to thevideoage.com. That will take you to the Patreon where you can join up. And you can also go there. We post all the new episodes there. And if you're a patron member, well, you get early access to it. So you can see it early. And you can know the theme of the next month coming up. And you can see the movies that are coming up and get extra episodes for $5 a month. What a freaking deal. There's all sorts of extra content on there. Join up if you want to. But that's the hard sell. thevideoage.com. Join the Patreon. Get on there. All right. We are going to talk about The Phantom of the Paradise, directed by Brian De Palma, who also directed Body Double, Dressed to Kill, The Untouchables, Snake Eyes, the first Mission Impossible, Carlito's Way, Raising Cain, and, Scarface, also Blowout. He's a very prolific director. He hasn't done that many prolific films lately, but he's got some things coming up. But he is a amazing director, and this movie is a great film. It is a musical, and the songs are written by Paul Williams, who famously has been in the movies for a long time, and he has also written a lot of music. He's written music for people and performed it for himself. Wrote songs, looks like, for the Monkees, Anne-Marie, Three Dog Night, Barbra Streisand, Chris Christopherson, for Stars Born, Carpenter's The Muppet Movie. He's been working in the film industry and music industry forever. And he and Brian De Palma made this movie in 1974 called Phantom of the Paradise, which it is a story of a man who is so desperate for the world to hear his music, he is nearly willing to sell his soul for it. And the world he lives in is so corrupt and terrible that, well, he ends up in a position where he's gonna need to nearly sell his soul to get anything. I first saw this movie few years ago. It's quickly became a favorite. It is a wild musical, and I mean it's by Brian De Palma, so it has some amazing camera work, and it has, things where it feels like a character's, breaking the fourth wall the way they're talking, but they're actually talking to a figure you haven't seen yet, and you're finding things out, and it is beautiful. De Palma loves doing fun shots, and he is great at doing those as well as action, and just really kind of just flexing his versatility, honestly. With this movie, it feels it's fun and funny and sad, and it just clips along, and the performances from the cast are quite good. As the Phantom, we have William Finley, who has been in a lot of De Palma films and in a lot of things. He passed in 2012. Yeah, he did a lot of De Palma films. He was in The Fury, he was in Dressed to Kill, he was in The Black Dahlia. And we, of course, have Paul Williams as Swan, who has been in so many freaking things. He's has 97 credits on his IMDb. That's for his appearances in things, like not just his musical appearances or songs he's done for things. He first started showing up in 1965. Paul Williams, he was in a few things, and then he did Phantom of the Paradise, and then he was in one episode of The Odd Couple as Paul Williams. Gotta love that. And of course, he was in Baretta. Everybody was in Baretta in the 70s. If you were an actor and you were around, you were in Baretta. You were in one episode at least. Oh God, yeah, he's Little Enos and Smokey and the Bandit. God, oh my God, I love that movie. He's also in the Muppet movie. He's in Smokey and the Bandit 2. I bet he's in Smokey and the Bandit 3. Look at that, Smokey and the Bandit Part 3. Is he in Part 4? Is he in Part 4? Paul Williams, did you show up for Smokey and the Bandit Part 4? I don't think you did. No. Well, there you go. That's Paul Williams. That's not even the whole cast. We haven't even talked about Jessica Harper, who is Phoenix, who is also in Shock Treatment. Did you know that Shock Treatment is a sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show? Which, Shock Treatment, I'm going to be covering on the Patreon. Wow, look at that. Look at how that turns out. She was also in Suspiria, which is a movie I still have not seen. Don't yell at me for that. I'll see it. I want to see it, and I'll see it. So don't worry about it. But Jessica Harper was in... Oh boy. She was in a bunch of stuff. Like I said, she was in Suspiria. She was in this... Showed up in a bunch of shit. I'm having a stroke. She showed up in a bunch of things. She was in Shock Treatment and also Pennies from Heaven, which is Steve Martin's musical, which I've never seen. Directed by Herbert Ross, Dennis Potter. I should see if I can find this. Okay. Noted, Pennies from Heaven. I'm going to actually write it down. Here, listen to my pen click. I did it a couple times, so you could hear it. Maybe I'll make it really loud. So what am I gonna watch? Oh, son of a! I already forgot. What could I watch? Pennies from Heaven. Who knows? Pennies from Heaven could be the greatest movie I've ever watched. I don't know. Oh my god. Post-it note stuck to my hand. Freaking out. But that is Jessica Harper. She is in a bunch of things. And we have Garrett Graham, who is beef in this movie. And Garrett Graham is great. Graham. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that like that, but I had to. Garrett Graham, he is a fantastic actor. He shows up in so many movies. Sorry, there was a Dumb and Dumber animated series. Holy shit. Wow, 95 to 96. 13 episodes. Yikes. Okay. Anyway, I think I kind of remember that. Wow. But Garrett Graham shows up in 2 episodes of the Dumb and Dumber series. Did you know that? He is in 1 episode of the Larry Sanders Show. He's a voice in 39 episodes of the Pink Panther TV series. Look at that. He's Franklin Sherman in The Critic. Okay. That's great. Garrett Graham showing up in The Critic, showing up in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, my guy, showing up in Star Trek. I love it when people show up in Star Trek. He's an uncredited voice in The Little Mermaid. Okay. But what I know him from is Bud the Chud. Chud 2 is a great movie. Holy shit, he's in Big Man on Campus. I gotta rewatch Big Man on Campus. I'm writing that down too. I'm already starting some other picks. I'm making picks. I got picks going on. Big Man on Campus. Garrett Graham is God. He's Stanley Hoyle. Oh man, that's okay. Cool. Revelations. We're seeing things come together at the same time. It's Alive 3. Garrett Graham is in that. I've never seen that. But he is also the dad in Terror Vision, and he's in a chopping mall for a second. But he's the dad in Terror Vision, which Terror Vision is a great movie, which also stars John Grease, which John Grease had an amazing photo shoot recently, which that man is swagged out as fuck, and it's great. I mean, I bet he could chuck that steak over a friggin' mountain. He looks so good in that shoot. But we're not talking about John Grease. We're talking about Garrett Graham. And he is, yeah, like I said, he is in a bunch of things that I listed, and I added some movies to my list that I gotta watch. I mean, I've already watched Big Man on Campus. That's about Bob Maluga. We all know that. Come on, get real. Who else do we have in this cast that sticks out? Just want to run through it quick. Let's see. Who's Archie Hahn? But Archie Hahn, I don't know who you are, man. You're Archie Hahn. Hey, he's in John Tucker Must Die. Jeffrey Commander. Oh, yep. Not a lot of people that I noticed in this movie. There is a huge cast. And there's probably a bunch of people I didn't realize. But there is one person you don't see, but as soon as you hear him, you know him. It's Rod Serling. He does a little voiceover at the beginning. Oh, yes. And somebody who just shows up, the camera just goes past them, is Shelley Desai, who is a character actor who has been in a million things. I think he's the cleaning guy from Tim and Eric. What the hell? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Oh no, he's the cleaning guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm. He yells at Larry. But he is in 1,000,000 things. He's in Star Trek The Next Generation. There you go. He's also in Demon Cop, Maniac Cop 2, The A-Team, Q the Winged Serpent. This guy's showing up everywhere. If you know him, you know him. He's in 10 episodes of Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego. He shows up in Barbed Wire, Escape from L.A., The Crow, City of Angels. He's in 2 episodes of ER. Everybody remembers him from those 2 episodes of ER. I don't need to expound any further on Shelley Desai. He is nothing less to say about that. Okay. Anyway, we are going to get into this movie. And since I already talked about going to thevideoage.com to join our Patreon, you know about the Patreon. So just go to thevideoage.com to join the Patreon. You can become a free member and just get updated about all the cool things. But you can also just sign up $5 a month. It's not that much. It's less than a dozen eggs. Holy crap, what do we live in? The friggin' apocalypse? Apocalypse now? Anyway, we are going to talk about 1974's Phantom of the Paradise. And I'm going to try and control my P's, not pop them so much. The movie begins with a voiceover from somebody you know is definitely smoking. We have Rod Serling doing a introduction to the character of Swan, who is a music mogul who at the age of 14 was a broke, pathetic nothing, and then started breaking big with his band, the Juicy Fruits, and eventually became the biggest music producer in the world. And he is trying to make his own musical Disneyland, pretty much. He wants to make the Paradise a wonderful nightclub area type thing that's also a theater, just, you know, the greatest place for live music to be performed. And he is basically trying to find the music or the inspiration for the sound of the Paradise. So once Swan is sufficiently introduced by Rod Serling, we have the band, the Juicy Fruits, playing at Swan's Club, and they are singing the Song of Eddie, which is a song about somebody sacrificing himself for his sister, or sacrificing himself for his sister, ultimately in vain, something like that. It's, you know, kind of like, oh, maybe a little something that's going to happen in here. Oh, what? And we have the slimy rights manager, Philbin, talking directly to camera, and he's talking about, you know, basically trying to own this former songstress they had. And Swan's like, it doesn't matter. We don't need her anymore. Who cares? We're moving on. We need a different sound. And we don't see Swan at this point. We just hear his voice, and we're seeing Philbin. And we're in the background. The Juicy Fruits have wrapped up, and they've cleared off. And somebody has come in with a piano and set up. And instead of a full band with singers and dancers, it is just one person with a keyboard, and they look disheveled, and it's just a keyboard and a bench and one person playing. And this is Winslow Leach. This is spoilers. This is the Phantom. but not yet. And he is there to, I think it's basically open mic after the Juicy Fruits play. Other people are allowed to play, and Winslow Leach is playing, and he is playing some of his cantata, which is about Faust. He begins playing his music, and while he is playing, Philbin is told to stop talking because we don't need to worry about that girl we had, because dang it, that music that's playing right now, we gotta get that. Find out who that is and get the music from them. I don't care how you do it. And we go to Winslow Leach's apartment, which is a little railroad apartment. It is just a straight hallway apartment, basically. And we have Philbin coming in. It's like, kid, I saw you down at dang ol' friggin' Swan's place, and he said you got it. What? Really? Really? He said that? Of course he did, man. I was sitting right next to him. He said, you got it, kid. You're the next big thing. And, he's ready to produce some of your music. Maybe have the Juicy Fruits play some of it. Not the Juicy... Friggin' Winslow springs up, grabs Philbin by the shirt collar and slams him into the window. It's like, oh, hey, kid, you got quite a temper. Hey, you know what? We don't have to have the Juicy Fruits play your music. We'll produce your your first record. It's okay, kid. It's okay. Put me down, all right? And Winslow's like, sorry. I'm not a real big fan of the Juicy Fruits. I think they're kind of played out. They're strictly nostalgia based. They are specifically nostalgia based type of music to get that kind of crowd to get the easy stuff. And it's like, hey, okay, hey kid, you good. You just give me some of the stuff you're working on, and we'll see. We'll come and we'll talk about it. It's just give us singles. Like, there's no singles. It's a whole thing. It's a cantata. It's everything. It's it's a whole opera, man. You can't just take it. You can't take it. Oh, he's going full Joker on him already. He basically does. This is before Heath Ledger's Joker. Who knows? This could be the inspiration. No, don't be ridiculous. But he is like, okay, you can have the big book, and Philbin takes it, and then we get a title card 1 month later, and we are outside Death Records, which that is Swan's record label, which is a very cool. It's a dead bird on its back, and it is Death Records. Super cool. Fucking way to go, De Palma, and your writer, who is Louisa Rose. But yeah, we are outside Death Records, and we are with Winslow, and well, he's there to see Swan. I'm Winslow Leach. I was told they were going to produce my record, and it's been a month. It's like, let's see. And the secretary pulls out a card, and it says Winslow Leach. It says never to be seen. And he gets run out by security. He's like, what the heck? And he eventually manages to track down Swan at his residence, and he tries to sneak in. They're like, whoa, buddy, no way. You ain't coming in here. And they are auditioning women, and he manages to get in there before he gets thrown out. And he is kind of confused because he hears, all these women singing these words, and he's like, what the heck is going on? All these women are saying and singing my words. And then he comes across one who is singing, and he kind of, it's like, oh, no, keep going. And he kind of starts accompanying her, and she's like, wow, how'd you know that? We just got these, and we're reading it. It's like, I wrote it. She's like, what? And then another girl in line's like, you wrote it, then why aren't you with them in there doing the auditions? He's like, I don't know. I'm very confused, And as this is going on, one of the bikers who is running the security for Swan comes out, and he's, all right, ladies, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's like, whoa. Who's this guy? Is this somebody's boyfriend? It's like, oh, no. Then you need to get the hell out of here, buddy. It's like, well, hold on. I'm here. I wrote the music. It's like, no, you didn't, buddy. Well, no, I did. Swan, I gave it to Swan a month ago, and now he's doing this. It's like, this is my music. It's like, you need to get out of here, buddy. It's like, okay. And Phoenix goes in for her audition, which is just Philbin trying to get on him, and she runs out of there. She's like, fuck this. That's no audition. I came to sing, not get touched on a couch. This is bullshit. And Winslow's like, wait, I don't even know your name. And then he gets run out of there. And we have a scene where it is a bunch of women on a bed, kind of writhing together. They're all in robes, and they're like, oh, Swan's gonna come in here. It's like, oh, jeez, I just need to be held, please. Somebody. And then a door opens in the mirrored wall, and Swan comes in. Swan. And one of the ladies who's been looking away from camera. As we learned, people often looking away from camera, like specifically, like if they're in the center of the frame a lot and they're looking away from camera, they never look at camera, they're probably important. The lady who's been looking away from camera turns, and when he's upside down, is revealed it's Winslow, and he's like, Mr. Swan, you remember me? Winslow Leach. I gave you the thing you're doing now. And then Swan's like, get this F slur out of here. It's like, oh, okay. And then he gets run out by the bikers, but he also gets beat up by the bikers, and then 2 cops show up, and they're like, oh, what do we got here? We're told somebody came in and was trying to bust up the party, didn't like what Swan didn't like that you were trying to sell stuff there, and threw you out, and you tried to get rowdy. It's like, no, I don't do drugs. And the cops plant some coke into his bag and go, well, look at that. Clear as day. He gets arrested quickly, and it's like, well, how long could it be? And we get a crazy, huge American flag behind a, just a podium with a guy on, a judge on it, and life. He gets life. It's like, whoa, what? No! You gotta help me. Swan stole my songs. And he turns to camera, and it's a crazy shot. And this is where De Palma, with that slick, beautiful camera work. I mean, the shots are great. It's just, they stick out. And he is a musician who caused a bunch of trouble and got arrested, and he is sent to Sing Sing prison. There you go. He's in Sing Sing. And very quickly, he is sent to the rehabilitation program that is run by the Swan Institute, which takes in volunteers who will have their teeth removed and have metal put in place of them. Metal teeth put in place. And it's, it's strictly volunteer based, and it's like, wait a minute, I didn't volunteer for this. I don't want this. It's like, no, it's good, teeth are a source of infection. And it's like, no, I like my teeth. My teeth are cool. And this is where we get my guy. I can't remember him. The guy I talked about earlier. You know, the guy I talked about. But this is where we see Winslow losing it. He's been in for 6 months. He does not have his teeth anymore. He's got metal teeth. He looks horrified. His beautiful long hair has been buzz cut. And Swan he's got hits on the radio. And one of them is from his upcoming musical about Faust, which is going to open the Paradise, his new mega venue. And he is incredibly distraught because the people playing this song that he wrote is the motherfucking Juicy Fruits. And he's pissed. Yeah, I hit a P hard on that. I basically hit a P block with that one. He's pissed. And he attacks a guard, and he just runs the frick out of there. And he gets shot at, but he doesn't get shot. He runs to Death Records, and he's breaking up shop. And he's got dynamite, and he's going to blow up the dang press. But a guard comes in and shoots at him and he gets kind of knocked off his feet, and his head lands in the record press, and it closes on him. And he gets all fricked up, and he runs off, and then he gets shot. Oh yeah, because he gets shot in the gut, and he falls back and gets his face melted. And it is just great. It's so quick, and you don't see a lot, but it is violent and gruesome and very quick. Death Records looks cool. It's shot from weird angles. It's all black and glass, plexiglass. Because when he knocks somebody through it, the whole sheet of plexiglass falls down. And when he is escaping after being shot, he falls down and he manages to crawl into the East River. And then we get a spinning newspaper. There's a lot of spinning newspapers in this. I love it. We get a spinning newspaper that announces the opening of the Paradise with the Juicy Fruits doing Faust. And then we scroll down to a little paragraph basically saying, nutty music criminal Winslow Leach dies after escaping prison, body not recovered. It's like, oh wow, he's still on the front page, baby. And then we get a POV shot, which this is De Palma. I mean, he's doing great POV, kind of Giallo style a little bit. You got the killer's POV, and then the hand, like a gloved hand. But you have the POV of him going into the Paradise, into the back room, and into the costume room, and he grabs a cape and a mask to hide his terrible deformity. And he quickly sets about to sabotage the Paradise because they are practicing the Faust musical, and they are practicing the beach scene. It's basically a beach blanket party musical scene where you've got a chorus and a band, and the most interesting thing is it is doing a split screen. You are seeing the Phantom load a bomb into the prop car that everybody is going to be on, that is going to go through the scene, and then you have the following the car and the bomb, and then just the random bullshit that is happening, that is going on in the world. Well, there is a literal ticking time bomb in the scene. It is great. It's De Palma just going, hey, here's a random nothing scene that has a ticking time bomb. And the literal ticking time bomb in the scene, is being delayed by one of the members of the Juicy Fruits. He's not feeling good, or he's feeling down or nervous. And Philbin has to, be like, shut the fuck up, take these pills, you're gonna be better, alright, bud? And the bomb is just sitting in the trunk this whole time, and we see Swan and one of his security guards in one of the booths, and they are watching the scene as it's playing out. They did not see the Phantom, but Swan did see something in one of the other balconies, and he's not quite sure of it, but when the car explodes, he's like, what the heck? But when the car explodes, the fake car that the people are riding, the people are off of it. They just got off of it after they did the scene. And luckily nobody was hurt, but it was enough for Swan to go review some tapes. And he knows that, well, Winslow's back, baby. And as soon as he leaves his room, Winslow's got a knife, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you, Swan. He's like, yeah, hi, Winslow, how you doing? It's like, you can't kill me, alright? You're scared of yourself. You won't even look at yourself. You can't even talk. What kind of music man are you? And Winslow's like, man, screw you. But he's also like, and Swan just wants him, hey, he's like, just, we need this music to be finished. I will actually produce your music and let it out into the world. And he's reticent at first because, Swan's kind of the reason, that he got fricked up. And he's like, hey, if you stop trying to kill everybody and blow everything up, I will let you come to auditions and make decisions. And he's like, are you for real? But in his terribly fucked up voice, so he's like, it's like, yeah, dude, stop talking. Just write it. Just write down what you're going to say. And they're at the auditions, and Phoenix shows up, and Philbin, who is on the stage, is like kind of razzing her, and she's like, listen, I'm here to sing. It's like, oh, you're a singer, huh? Well, I don't know. And she's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm out of here. And then Swan's like, hey, give it a second. Let's see what you got. And she does a little number, and it's like, all right. You're in the chorus. And she does her performance, and she makes it into the chorus. Swan is like, hey, Phantom, old buddy, old pal, you're working on this music, and your voice is kind of fricked up. I got this little voice modulator box. It's kind of like a Darth Vader box, but it makes your voice, not sound like RFK Jr. I just want to make the music that will help you with your health. And so he makes him this crazy little voice modulator box, and It's great. You have Paul Williams and a soundboard, so he can just do business on it like no other. And Bingo Bongo, instead of his terrible voice, Winslow sounds beautiful. And William Finley has his voice back and he's able to talk. And I'm not quite sure who's doing the singing, but he is singing again. And he is making the music. And Swan's like, all right, buddy, we gotta nail this down. I want to get this all laid out, and I need to have this music finished by the time we open. And Winslow like, hey man, I'll do it. Okay, so what do we gotta do? He's like, well, I got this contract, and it is as big as a Bible. Don't worry about that. It's fine. And he's like, what is this? Party of the first party and party of the second party. It feels like this is the Marx Brothers Night at the Opera bit. The party of the first party and the party of the second party. What does that mean? What did that mean? Well, that's, it's in every country. I don't like it. Okay, we'll take that part out. The party of the second party and the second. We'll take this part out. Okay, well, this part is in every contract. What is this? Well, it's the sanity clause. Yeah, you can't fool me. There ain't no sanity clause. I don't know. It doesn't go that far, but it feels like that's what it draws inspiration from. But he's like, hey, just got to sign this and we'll be all set. And he goes to sign it, and Swan pricks his finger in blood. He's like, ink won't do, my boy. Need something a little more binding. He signs it in blood, and then Swan pricks his finger and stamps it in blood. He's got a stamp it, Swan. And he has made a pretty good deal for himself. He's going to get the music made, and he's got the Phantom waylaid. Look at that, I rhymed. Anyway, the Phantom is off making his music. He is locked in. He's doing drugs. He's taking prescription pills or he's doing drugs in a candlelit room, making music for Phoenix, because he has been told Phoenix will be the star, so he is writing music for Phoenix, and he is writing in a dark void alone. And then we have Swan, who is sitting in the center of his huge gold record desk, and Philbin is there, and he's like, well, what do you think, sir? He's like, well, we're definitely not going to use Phoenix, because not about that. Okay, well, what do you think? And then we immediately get the black void that he's sitting in. We see people come into view. There's a band that comes into view, and they're singing one of the songs, and it's like, no, not that. And then they go out of the light, and then the camera turns more behind Swan, and we see another group come out. And if you come out, this is a great scene. This is greatly, and I love how this is shot. I don't know exactly how it's shot. It feels like it's just, people on platforms moving in and out of view and the light. I don't know. But we ultimately land on Beef, played by Garrett Graham, who is a leather-clad, androgynous rock star singer who has a guitar and wow kind of style. He's like that. And Swan picks him, presumably because he is the most different from what Winslow would pick or be himself. But Beef is hired, and Swan is encouraging Winslow to hurry up and finish, and he's feeding him pills. And he's like, yes, my boy, it's coming along nicely. We're going to open soon. And Winslow's like, we got this, no problem. And when Swan leaves his, locked area, which is guarded by the bikers, he takes a second and he thinks, he's like, okay. And he tells them, he's like, bring the bricks. And a man with a cart full of bricks brings them closer to the door, presumably to brick it off. He hasn't said to brick it off yet, but don't know what's going to happen with that. They're going to brick it off. Don't worry. It's going to happen in the future. We have Beef practicing for the performance, and he is reading the music, and he's like, what the hell is this? I'm not a castrati. It's written for a chick. And it's like, hey, you know what? Just perform it how you want to perform it, buddy. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do it how I want it. Is that what you want? It's like, yeah, we don't care. Just do it. And it's like, okay. So Swan has sufficiently drugged Winslow enough and encouraged him enough and lied to him enough that he has finished the music and just passed out in a drug-fueled haze, or a just tiredness-fueled haze. He has passed out, and the music is there, and Swan grabs the music and gets the heck out of there and has his men break it up, and we have Beef performing and getting ready to perform, and there's a terrible shriek that is Winslow realizing that he's been duped and double-crossed, and we see the metal and bricked off area has been freaking ripped through, and the bikers are unconscious. Beef, in the meantime, has told Philbin, it's like, hey man, I'm freaked the frick out. That you heard that sound. It's like, I didn't hear nothing. It's like, okay, whatever. And he's like, I can go take a shower to chill out. Okay, cool. Have fun. And then the Phantom comes in with a knife, and it looks like he's gonna kill him. But he just cuts the curtain a little bit, and he gets a plunger, and he shoves it into his face and says, don't you ever sing my fucking music again, bro. I don't like that you sang it. Don't sing or play it ever again. And then he leaves. And Beef is like, okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And Philbin catches him trying to leave because he's messing with people in line. And he's like, this is only ticket holders. And he sees Beef fleeing. And he's like, hey, what the hell are you doing? It's like, I was just confronted by a creepy guy with metal teeth. I should be exempt from having to play. And he's like, no, you're a drug-addicted asshole. You're going to play. He's like, hey, I'm a drug-addicted asshole who just saw some crazy shit. I should be able to leave. Sorry, sweetie, you got to play. And he's like, okay. And then they start the performance of Faust, which is crazy. It is the most wild live performance ever. It is a crazy band just going to town with 3 guys walking around with sword guitar and sword microphone knife things. The one is basically the narrator, who is introducing the stallion that rises, because they are cutting people from the audience up and they are stitching them together at the back of the stage in the performance. And then, a la Frankenstein, a lift takes it to the sky and gets electrocuted, and Beef rises and comes out and is singing his song and performing. And then we see the Phantom queuing up a neon lightning bolt that hits Beef while he is playing his guitar and electrocutes the ever-loving hell out of him, which is animated with a crazy stutter type weird effect that looks wonderful. It's fun. And he eventually gets set on fire, and the crowd is losing their ever-loving mind. And the Phantom is like, yeah, I did that. I killed him. Yippee skippy. And everybody's like, so we're done, right? I mean, we're good? And it's like, nope, the crowd's losing their fucking minds. Well, what do we do now? Well, the only thing we can do. The Phantom won't let anybody else sing his music other than Phoenix. So, we'll have her sing. So she comes out and she sings a beautiful song. She does a beautiful performance. And it's crazy because the performance before that is boisterous and somebody got electrocuted and started on fire. And then she comes out with this calm, beautiful ballad and sings it. And the crowd is like, yep, same exact vibe. We feel the same exact way, but just seated. Swan quickly gets her under his wing, but not quickly enough, because the Phantom kind of entices her with a rose and is like, hey, but then he yanks her up to the roof and is like, yeah, I'm the Phantom. I'm friggin' Winslow Leach, baby. I wrote the music. I did this for you. And look what they're willing to do. Look at Beef. They're still chanting his name even though he's smoldering while they pull him to the friggin' meat wagon. She's like, what the friggity frack? It's like, listen, you freak. It's like, I'm no freak. Swan chewed me up and ate me out. Oh my God, chewed me up and ate me out? That's terrible. Chewed me up and spit me out. She's like, nah, I'm freaked the frick out by you. I don't care if Swan ate you out, chewed you up, spit on you, whatever he did. You're freaking me out. So she runs off and she gets in with Swan and Philbin, and she is in with Swan now, and Swan takes her to bed, and the Phantom is watching, and Swan is watching the Phantom because Swan has cameras everywhere. Every place Swan has is wired, and Swan is always watching videos. He's watching videotapes in 1975, so they're big reels of film that he has. And he's always watching stuff, and he's always filming stuff. And that couldn't possibly come into effect. Unless, of course, who knows? But while the Phantom is watching them, he is so distraught. He's like, alright, screw this. I'm gonna kill myself. So he screams in agony and takes a knife and jams it into his heart. And then Swan takes his time, comes up to the roof. It's like, well, my dear boy, you are not allowed to die. It says right in your contract, not until I'm gone, then you're gone. And once I'm gone, that gaping wound in your chest will start to bleed and you'll die. But right now you're fine. And you're mine. So, back to work. And he's like, what the frick? And he's like, wait, I got an idea. I'll kill Swan. I got a dagger right now. Well, bam. And he's like, sorry, boy. I'm under contract too. What? He's under contract too? Dang. How'd that happen? And the Phantom is like, what the hell? I gotta look into this. And he goes and breaks into Swan's secret area and finds his films. And he finds one that says Swan's Agreement. And he reels it up. And it's Swan in a bathtub. when he's a young man, which is adorable as a terrible wig on Paul Williams. And he's like, I'm a sad young man with my hookah, and I'm rich, but I'm gonna kill myself. Life just isn't worth it. And he's got a razor blade, old-fashioned one, and he's looking in the mirror, and the mirror's like, well, you know, your soul's damned anyway, right? You're gonna kill yourself. Why not sell your soul to me? And he's like, what? Who the hell? And it's great because there's, I think, 4 different angles on this video, but it is just Swan being obsessed with technology and having lots of money. He's got the cameras, and the person in the reflection's like, listen, bud, you will stay this age, but this video, like the painting of Dorian Gray, will age. You just have to watch this video every day, and you can keep going every way. He's like, okay, just watch this video every single day, and as long as this tape is fine, you're A-okay. I'm A-okay every way as long as I watch this tape every day. That's what I say. Sign this contract. Hey, sign it in blood, bud. That sounds good. Now, let's get back to our attack. On the film, Winslow having it, he's like, well, Ovs, I'm going to destroy it. He destroys it, but not after seeing his contract and also discovering that for the big opening of the Paradise, the big party of the Paradise, he is going to get married to Phoenix, and he is going to have her assassinated on TV, and he also has a contract with Phoenix. So the Phantom freaks the frick out, destroys the films, and we see a bank of monitors which is showing the party and the Phantom, and it shows the Phantom destroying the area he's in, and then it being engulfed in flames, and then it goes to the party, and everything is insane here. There are dancers throwing confetti. There are people, a full crowd throwing confetti. It's wild. There's a lot of movement. And we have Philbin as the dressed up priest performing the ceremony. He is made to look like a pope or a cardinal or someone in a lot of religious paraphernalia. And we have Swan in a mask. He is in a crazy Dr. Doom style metal mask. And we have the assassin who is getting ready to assassinate Phoenix right when they say, "Till death do you part." I do. She will get shot in the face. And we see that the tape that was burning, that had Swan's contract on it, is fully burned, and Swan is looking kind of freakish under the mask. We're going to see in a second. We have the Phantom desperately running to get to the assassination station where the assassin is at, and he is running through the hallway as we get the chaos of the party. And we have the assassin lining up, and the Phantom carefully walking over chairs. Walking over chairs in a theater area is difficult. You don't want to do it. You want to be safe. I don't care if you're a Phantom or not. You gotta be safe. Safety first. He takes his time, and he gets there just in time to knock the shot away and get Philbin square in the friggin' middle of the head, dead center of the head, with the assassin shot, and he takes out the assassin, and he swings down and knocks off Swan's mask, revealing a crazy meat face, because his face has rapidly caught up with him, and he looks gross now, and Phoenix is like, what the hell is wrong with your face? And everybody's freaking out. And he's like, I'm gonna friggin' kill you because that's funny to me. I'll kill you. But then the Phantom is like, no, you will not kill her. I'll kill you because your freaking contract is broken, dude. And then as the Phantom has stabbed Swan to death with a random partygoer's mask, which is crazy. It's a crazy mask that he stabs Swan to death with. That makes his wound on himself burst open, causing him to begin to die. And as this is all happening, the crazy crowd has grabbed Swan. They're like, hell yeah, this is cool. We love this. They're going to do this every day here. We have terrible, deformed Winslow ripping off his mask and crawling towards Phoenix. And she is just horrified and mortified as this is going on. And she's like, holy shit, I don't even know what to do. And then it just pulls out. And we get a nice exit of the film. We see everybody who performed in it. Everybody gets a nice little title card. And that is Phantom of the Paradise. Winslow died. Swan died. Phoenix, maybe she'll rise from the ashes. Wow, I almost had it. Swan dies. Winslow dies. And Phoenix, maybe she will rise from the ashes. Look at it. I did it on the first try. What you didn't even hear the time I screwed it up. Oh, I just burped. I shouldn't have done that. The take was so good. I can edit the burp out. Unless I talk about the burp like I am right now. That is Phantom of the Paradise. That's our second movie in May musicals. Next week we have Hedwig and the Angry Inch from 2001. It is a great movie, and I recommend you watch it, because I'm going to talk about it next week. But until then, I don't know, listen to more of our episodes. That's what I know. Listen to the past episodes and listen to the future episodes if you're on our Patreon at thevideoage.com. Shameless plugging. I can't help it. But that is that. This has been Phantom of the Paradise from 1974. Next week, we have more. We have Hedwig and the Angry Inch. That's what we have next week. I don't know where you can watch it because streaming services are whack, y'all. But prepare yourselves. Until then, I have been Sean, and I'm going to do the most normalest thing in the world, which is walk through a portal to go back to the video store that I run in the 90s. Obviously, duh. Bye.